Mega City 1 is in ruins. Corruption is rampant. It's time to take the law into your own hands. Armed with explosive lawgiver firepower, heat seekers, ricochet rockets, incendiary missiles, and more. Take on Mean Machine, the ABC robot, and other brutal barriers to justice. Take to the skies on your high-speed Lawmaster motorcycle and pacify even the most persistent perps. You're no above the law. You are the law. That's what it says. And I'm not surprised. Judge Dredd from Probe Software and Acclaim, released in 1995, based on, would you believe it, Judge Dredd? Wow! This was a time where we had games kind of like this. Judge Dredd was one. Blackthorn, I think I would add to this kind of type of gameplay, though Blackthorn is a little different. Doom Troopers, Phantom 2040. It's fine, I guess. It's weird. It's strange. Let's talk about it. In the 22nd century, everybody lives in the urban areas of the world. Police officers and lawyers have been abolished, and now there are judges who control human society. One of them, Judge Dredd, must pursue the renegade Judge Rico and Mega City's most dangerous criminals. Eventually, Judge Dredd defeats Rico and wins the final battle with the Dark Judges to rescue Mega City. Spoiler alert. For 7 of the game's 12 levels, the backgrounds were created by digitizing sets from the movie. The remaining 5 levels use backgrounds based on the comic book. The terrible Sylvester Stallone movie, I'll bet. That movie was terrible. This was ported to a couple of different systems, like the Genesis, the Game Boy, the Game Gear, and DOS. There was an Atari Jaguar CD version in development, but Acclaim and Atari announced the partnership, and then nothing kind of happened. It was never released. It was finished, but it was never released. The 4 reviewers of Electronic Gaming Monthly criticized the game's bosses as overly difficult, but generally approved of Judge Dredd for its large levels and selection of weapons, with one of the reviewers remarking that what Judge Dredd lacks in originality, it makes up for in playability. They were much more critical of the Genesis version, which suffers from inferior graphics and sound, and most importantly, control compared to the Super Nintendo version. Similarly, GamePro criticized the game's lack of originality, but praised the large level selection of weapons and the ability to rest enemies instead of killing them. I did both. They too gave the Genesis version a more negative review on account of inferior graphics and sounds. Well, that's the Genesis for you. Electronic Gaming Monthly reviewed that the game translates surprisingly well to the Game Boy. I would not think so, which most of the levels and graphical effects are of the home versions, but that the Game Boy version suffers from inferior sound quality. GamePro's review of the Game Boy version criticized that it is overly similar to previous handheld action-adventure games and has so-so controls, but concluded, is Judge Dredd tough? Not guilty. Is it terrific? Not guilty. Is it worth playing? Guilty. I actually got stuck and couldn't finish the first level. Could not figure out where to go, what to do, anything. My take on it is it's samey. It's really samey. I would agree with what GamePro said about the Game Boy version, but I would apply it to the Super Nintendo version. It doesn't seem really hard. Doesn't seem really great. Should you play it?